What's going on, guys? This is the Club of Demand 1993 back up here for my live review of this week's episode of NXT UK, the March 20th, 2019 edition of NXT UK that took place once again at the Coventry Skydome in Coventry, England. Overall, I gotta say, wasn't one of the strongest editions of NXT UK. I was close to getting this in like a C or C plus level grade, but with what the win in the main event most likely means. And, of course, the big announcement we got coming out of the show for a match for NXT TakeOver New York that I'm actually really excited for, and I'm really interested to see where this goes for sure, as this is definitely one of the first times in a long time that I've really felt that we could be seeing a change with the main event scene in the UK division for sure, depending on what happens at TakeOver New York now. So we got a huge announcement there. Other than that, most of the matches, we're all right. But again, with there not being announcement of any kind of, UK takeover anytime soon, starting to feel a little directionless with a lot of these characters. I mean, like where are they going now with this? Like a lot of people feel like they're just in the same spot now. Like, where do they go from here, basically? I'm just trying, wonder. I'm starting to get there. And we had Cassius Ohno officially, making his NXT UK debut. He's now here to stay in UK, so we'll talk about that also. All right, just a bunch of, exhibition matches, basically, just to, give people some momentum going forward and whatnot. So kind of like an average, but again, a little more towards like decent to solid episode was the announcement. Of course, what the win in the main event most likely means for one half of a tag team. So we'll talk about that, of course, when we get there, as we briefly talk about NXT UK. The show opened up with a big announcement from the NXT UK general manager and assistant to the general manager, Johnny Saint and Sid Scala, announcing that they have talked with NXT general manager William Regal, and they're announcing that at NXT TakeOver New York, there will be a United Kingdom Championship match. Now, as far as who's going to get that, though, they were not sure at the time. But out came the bruiserweight Pete Dunne. And Pete just comes out, just asks Sid if he can borrow his microphone, and all he says was, "Give me Walter," and just walks away. Will the match happen? We'll find out, of course, at the end of this review. So we're getting a UK title match. Will it be Walter, though? Pete Dunne demands it be Walter, so we'll see what happens, if he gets the match or not. The first match we had, though, of the show was Eddie Dennis taking on Ligero. A decent match. This is more so Eddie Dennis's first match. Actually, the first time we've seen Eddie Dennis at all since TakeOver Blackpool, which was, hard to believe, a little over 2 months ago already. And basically, he tried to, jump on another big man in Bomber Dave Mastiff, who we haven't really seen much of him either since their no DQ match at TakeOver Blackpool. So we haven't seen Eddie Dennis since this again. I still really thought, before a certain someone came in, I really thought that we were going to see Eddie Dennis be built up to be the one to dethrone Pete Dunne for the UK Championship because, again, of his history and whatnot. And I was very interested. But then, not sure where he's going to go now that he lost his feud to Bomber Dave Mastiff. Because, again, both of them aren't really doing anything right now. But yeah, this match against Ligero, which, again, I don't mind Ligero, but he's more so there just to kind of eat the pins and put some people over. He just had a feud with Joseph Connors also, but I think he won that feud, if I'm not mistaken. So, match is decent. Eddie Dennis gets a win. We'll see where to go from here with Eddie Dennis as he tries to get some momentum back. We have a tag team match with Sam Stoker and Lewis Howley taking on the team that now call themselves The Hunt, Wild Boar Mike Hitchman, and the Primate, whatever the heck his name is. I don't remember what exactly his name is. All I do remember, though, is that he looks a lot like Eric Rowan, except smaller. A decent match, I guess, kind of a squash match that would put over another tag team in The Hunt. I guess they're actually being taken as a serious tag team. The Wild Boar gets the win by pinning Lewis with a high angle backdrop driver, basically. We had a couple backstage segments also, or not exactly backstage, but just outside the ring. We had one, of course, where Toni Storm was being interviewed, asking about the recent actions of Jinny, like how Jenny's basically just saying she's gunning for Toni Storm's UK title. Again, Toni Storm is basically just said that I got gold, that I didn't get handed to me like Jinny always does. So she's going to learn she has to get this the hard way, basically. And then she walks away, and then up the stairs came Rhea Ripley, who walked past Toni Storm. But then this was like, don't put the camera down yet. She pretty much called out Xia Brookside for what Xia said about her last week, and said, if you have a problem, let's finish this in the ring, basically. So we're probably going to get in a match soon with Rhea Ripley and Xia Brookside, maybe next week or following week, who knows, but it's definitely going to happen soon. So we got that. We also had some segment with Gallus sitting in a coffee shop, the coffee person, or a coffee shop, or a bar, or whatnot, just basically saying how, they feel like, that they've dominated people such as, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster and some of our people, but, they can't ever seem to get past, Pete Dunne and Walter. So they feel like they got to, start from scratch again or something like that, basically. So I don't know what's going to happen with them next, since I'm surprised they haven't won the tag titles yet, and of course they couldn't get the UK title yet. So we'll see what's next for Gallus. The next match, though, was a decent match. It was Ashton Smith, who, again, I actually really have a lot of hopes for Ashton Smith. Like I see something in this guy. I see him being definitely a hot act. At some point down the line, whether it's for UK or NXT or even if it's the main roster, I'm not sure. But I definitely see potential in him. But he's taking on Cassius Ohno. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why is Cassius Ohno still poking around in NXT? Like, does he not want to go to the main roster? Because his run at NXT, all he's done is, basically just been just like a scrappy veteran putting over younger guys, making them look good. Okay, but, the recent storyline was him trying to pretty much, have all these guys who have, the buzz, going past him, and he feels like he's getting left in the dust. So now he's trying to, shatter these broken toys, and he still lost his feud to Matt Riddle. Or he could have at least gotten, the victory maybe in the last match that he had. So now he's going over to NXT UK, which I'm like, okay, but, the main event scene's already pretty stacked in UK. Like, what's him going over to UK really going to do for him? But we'll still start off with before the match starts. And we've had Cassius Ohno recently just, trash on these on the UK talent, saying that basically he feels he can do better than them. And he gets out there and he kind of shows some respect for Ashton Smith for putting on a solid match. He eventually wins, though, with a rolling elbow to the back of Ashton Smith's head and gets a pinfall victory. Afterwards, he's about to show the signs of respect, though, and, show good sportsmanship for Smith, picks him up, but then he knocks him out again. And the referee is trying to hold him back from doing so again. And Travis Banks comes out because, he took exception to what Ohno said about him last week. Ohno tries to go down again, but referee gets the front and stops him. I thought it was Ruby again, Ohno running back and forth like Seth Rollins did that one time in 2016 when he was feuding with Roman Reigns for Money in the Bank. I'm like, no, don't do that. I didn't get that. Like, why? We had this guy literally just, trash this division in general the last couple weeks before making his, official NXT UK debut. And he acts like, he's some well-respected veteran now. So I was a little confused, with that storytelling there. Again, I just don't know what's there for him to do really in NXT UK right now. Again, I don't see him getting to the main event scene, especially if, the man who I see winning the UK title very soon. It's going to be winning it. I don't see Cassius Ohno being a big deal yet in the UK, but let's see if WWE can prove me wrong. So when's he go to the main roster? I have no idea. Maybe he never will. Who knows? Then we have our main event. It was Tyler Bate taking on one half of the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, the Grizzled Young Veterans, James Drake. Of course, Trent Seven and Zach Gibson stayed, backstage, so they didn't come out and interfere in this match. It was a solid match between these two. I'm still trying to get a little behind James Drake, because I still feel like I still feel like he's just only there because, again, this whole tag title run, which has not been terrible for Gibson and Drake, but I feel like, it's more so been a consolation prize for Zach Gibson because of him being probably, the best heel for sure so far. Well, besides Gallus on the UK brand. And James Drake definitely did have a good performance in that tag title match they had at TakeOver Blackpool. But I'm still not the biggest fan of him as a singles competitor yet. But obviously the story here, though, was Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are looking for another opportunity for the UK tag titles. And a win right here could get them back in the picture. And that's what happens. Tyler Bate did get the win. Of course, going back and forth, people are chanting just, let's go, Tyler, or Tyler Bate, Tyler Bate, who I believe is going to turn 22 soon, I believe. It's sometime in March, he'll be 22. Because he was only 19 when he won the UK title 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, sorry. Man, time flies. No, 2 years ago. Yeah, because it was at TakeOver Chicago he dropped it. Wait, is he only 21 then now? No, he's 22 because he was born in 97. That's why I call it the Tyler Driver 97. Or he's about to turn 22. Whatever. Anyways, decent match. Tyler Bate gets the victory, obviously putting Mustache Mountain back in contention for the NXT UK tag titles. But afterwards, though, backstage, we see Walter walking down the hallway. We go down the hallway to where the offices are for Sid Scala and Johnny Saint, and they confirm that NXT TakeOver New York, we will be getting Walter and Pete Dunne for the United Kingdom Championship. Obviously, Pete Dunne knows that he's definitely done his dues against all the other competition in the UK division. And he feels that, Walter is the guy he has something to prove with still. They haven't stepped into the ring together, but obviously, with his height, his ability, and his agility, and everything he's presented so far since coming to NXT UK, he believes that, he has something to prove against Walter. Will this be, of course, when Pete Dunne drops the UK title? Will Walter suffer the loss? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. And that'll probably maybe be like middle on the card, like maybe like third on the card or something like that, or maybe second or third on the card. I feel a little bit with the tag title match, and then this match, and then that either the North American Championship or the or the UK title will be like the second or third match, like whichever way it goes. Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, though, this episode was all right. Again, it wasn't one of my favorite. I'll give it a low B minus, C plus. I'm going to lower this grade down to a C plus. It was a decent show, but not much really happened, though, in my opinion. B minus, still like an 80% B minus, because we got the Mustache Bound back into the UK tag title picture. We have a big match set up for TakeOver, but other than that, everything was just there. I felt not too much really happened. What grade would you guys give NXT UK for this week? Leave us down in the comment section below. And make sure, as always, to slap a like on my video and subscribe or content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at @DeMayor. Throw back up in a little bit later on tonight, though, for my NXT live review. As we will see what's happening now with just a couple weeks left till TakeOver New York. And of course, tonight Triple H will be addressing the situation with the NXT Championship, since it's official. Tommaso Ciampa will be relinquishing that NXT Championship. Unfortunately, even though we had the great segment last week because of his neck surgery, we will not be getting Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano the final chapter at TakeOver New York, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens, of course, on NXT tonight, guys. That is it. Thank you all for joining me live. I'll check it out. I'll catch you all later. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.